Prabhupada, Radha Golokananda Radha, Golokananda Radha, Golokananda Jaya Shri Radha, Jaya Golokananda Radha, Golokananda Radha, Golokananda Jaya Shri Radha. Tulasi Maharani ki Jai. Vrindayai Tulasi Devyai Prijayai Kesavasya Cha, Vishnu Bhakti Praya Devi Satyavati Namo Namaha. Vrindayai Tulasi Devyai Prijayai Vishnu Bhakti Praya Devi Satyavati Namo Namaha. Vrindayai Tulasi Devyai Prijayai Kesavasya Cha, Vishnu Bhakti Praya Devi Satyavati Namo Namaha. Vrindayai Tulasi Devyai Prijayai Kesavasya Cha, Vishnu Bhakti Praya Devi Satyavati Namo Namaha. Vrindayai Tulasi Devyai Prijayai Kesavasya Cha, Vishnu Bhakti Praya Devi Satyavati Namo Namaha. Tulasi Maharani ki Jai. Devotees of the Lord who are just like desire trees, who feel the desires of everyone and are full of compassion for the poor and conditioned souls. Hare Krishna. No. Oh, yeah, thank you. Right, that's right. I should have gotten a verse for this, but I didn't. But I thank you, my dear, for doing that. Okay, how we we have to fit it. Let's see. Thank you. I have water, thanks. Let me just. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Bhajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Bhajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopidana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Bhajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivartigacharya Asasata Shishimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivartigacharya Asasata Shishimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Premsegaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Ki, Shri Shri Radha Krishna, Gopinath, Shamakunda, Radha Kunda, Giri Govardhan Ki, Yamuna Devi Ki, Ganga Devi Ki, Bhakti Devi Ki, Tulsi Devi Ki, Vrindavan Dham Ki, Mayapur Dham Ki, Sankirtan Yagya Ki, Gaur Premanandi, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Since today is the beginning of the Katyayani Vrata month, we will read about the beginning of that pastime of the girls of Vrindavan. So, Om Jnana Timarandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Gena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Okay, so at this time, this is from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, chapter 22, but I'll just speak from the Krishna book, the summary of that. So according to the Vedic civilization, unmarried girls from 10 years old, 10, 11, 12, 13, up to 14 years old, because by 14 they would already be married. they worshipped either Lord Shiva or his wife Durga in order to get a nice husband. So all the girls in Vrindavan, the young girls, all the girls wanted to marry Krishna, even though Krishna is actually younger than them. And so they were worshiping Durga, and now, and it's this time of year, we know it's very cold in Vrindavan in the early morning, but they would do this for 1 whole month. They would go early in the morning and bathe, and there would be segregated bathing ghats and different parts of the river. So they would put their clothes on the bank of the river and bathe completely naked in the water, and no men were ever allowed in that area. And also, every day for a whole month, they just ate very plain khichdi with no spices in it, or turmeric, Prabhupada says, because I guess there's no khichdi without turmeric, right, usually. So this just like if one is very ill too, this is for purification. And before one enacts a ritualistic ceremony, it's recommended to purify the body. So they worshipped her. They would, and when they got there, they would make, or when they after they bathed, they would make a deity of Durga. So we know this is common. You could make a deity just out of the sand and the bank of the river, the mud. They would just fashion a deity of her and then worship her with articles like chandan, pulp, garlands, incense, lamps, and fruits, grains, and twigs of plants. And so we know that a deity can be made of different elements. So just like that, they're making out of earth. That's one kind of deity. Also, a paint, like even a painting of Krishna can become a deity depending on your worship. You can worship a picture, and also like our deities made of marble, and then Giri Govardhan made of stone. A deity can be made like that, of rocks, and also of wood. Lord Jagannath is made of wood. And and there's deity made of jewels, and also a deity within the mind or within the heart. One can just fashion a deity and meditate upon that and offer worship, as we know the story of the Brahmin who made sweet rice for the deity within his mind, and he did the whole puja with collected the paraphernalia and bathed the deities and dressed the deities and made jewelry and put jewelry on the deities. And then he made sweet rice in his mind, and he wanted to feel it to make sure it was no longer hot, because cold sweet rice apparently is better, according to the opinion of Srila Prabhupada. So he put his finger in, his finger got burnt, and in real life his finger was burnt, just like also Jiva Goswami. He was boiling milk for Krishna in his internal form as a manjari, and his hands got totally burnt. And I'm sorry, Jiva Goswami said, what happened? Who was it? Rati, who is in charge of boiling milk for Krishna. But then Jiva said, what happened to your hands? It was Narottam Das, right? His hands got all burnt. And he said, let me see your hands, what happened to them? He was hiding them. He didn't want anyone to see. So you all remember, you read The Journey Home? Anybody read The Journey Home? So, Radhanath Swami had a great association, before he knew about ISKCON or anything, of one sadhu there. Every day he would sit under a tree. He would just smooth the sand and write Radha's name, in Sanskrit. and he would worship that name of Radha as he chanted all day. Then, then at the end of the day, he would just cover it back up again. And so, just like the girls, they would put the deity back into the Yamuna, or Lord Jagannath, every 12 years, I believe, he's put into the ocean, so that you can beseech the deity to appear in element, and then you can ask them to leave as well. But this associate of Radhanath Swami, one day when he cleared the name, he felt something's there, and he rubbed more, and there was a golden deity of Srimati Radharani under the earth, right where he had been worshipped. So he dug her up and worshipped her. But anyway, that's another point. So now those young girls, imagine they're only, between 10 and 14 years old, and with great devotion, they prayed, "O supreme eternal energy of the personality of Godhead, O supreme mystic, O supreme mystic, power, O supreme controller of this material world, O goddess, please be kind to us and arrange for our marriage with the son of Nanda Maharaj." So, one thing about, we see Krishna's pastimes, it's not like monogamy, where of course, everyone just wants Krishna for themselves. Like now, it's a great contention for divorce or separation. If your husband or boyfriend has another girlfriend, then that's it. It's over. It's me, only me, or no one else. But here, all together, they're worshiping Krishna, that we all want to be your wife. We all want you as our husband. And of course, it's the culture too. So they all wanted. So why they're worshiping demigod, goddess Durga, right? Our Vaishnava acharyas have told us we don't worship demigods. They've strictly forbidden it. But, and then of course, worshippers of Durga, they like this. Oh, even the gopis worship Durga. We know in October, around Kartik time, huge worship of Durga with many, many deities. Also, we see them on the trains and on the boats, bringing the deities, and then they put them back in the Ganges after 1 month. But why did they worship Goddess Durga? Because not for some general way for material benedictions, but they prayed to become wives of Krishna. That was their main goal. So when they would do this, one day, as I mentioned, no boys or men were allowed on that side of the river where they were, but Krishna came along. It says in the Bhagavatam he came along with his friends, but I can't imagine his friends were there for the actual encounter. I believe they must have stayed someplace different. So he appeared there, and he said, "My dear girls, please come here one after another and pray for your garments and then take them away." Of course, they thought he must be joking, and he said, "I'm not joking with you. I'm just telling the truth. I have no desire to play any joke with you." He said, because for a whole month you've observed, so this was apparently towards the end of their 1 month vrata. Oh, that's today, right? It's the day after Kartik. And so don't come here all at once. I want you to come one by one so that I can see your complete beauty. And 4, you all have thin waists. You may remember yesterday too, and it's going to come up again today. That's like a big symbol of beauty, I guess. Like nowadays, usually it's the breast and the buttocks and the hips, but here the thin waist, it's very, very attractive. Of course, the thin waist accentuates the other parts of the body as well, because there's a contrast. So he's saying, please come. And they're like, what? They thought he's just joking, so they were just kind of laughing at him. And then, let me see if I can make this light. It will help me a little. Sorry. I can't, oh wait. Oh, here we go, and then this will, oh yeah, okay, that's good. Is it, I don't know, it's not shining in your eyes, right? All right, so then he said, they thought, oh, they were so much in love with him that they were kind of amused by it. But out of shyness, they just looked at one another. And we know, like I mentioned, it's very cold at this time of year. So now they started shivering from the cold. Of course, when you go, like when you take your cold shower in the morning, it's very cold right away. But if you stay after 1 minute, 2 minutes, you get used to it. Or if you go to the ocean, it's very cold, but then you keep moving, and then it won't feel so cold. So they're not moving though; they're all just standing. So they're shivering. If you're swimming around, it won't be. You'll get circulation. But anyway, they couldn't come out. They were just shivering. And he's like, and they said, please don't joke with us like this. It's just not fair. It's not just that you would do this. And you're so very dear to us, but you shouldn't play this kind of joke on us, because now we're just freezing in the cold water. And kindly deliver our garments immediately. And then they said, we're your eternal servitors. Whatever you order us to do, we're obliged to perform without hesitation, because we consider it our religious duty. But this is like really too far. So if you keep insisting like this, then we'll have to go to Nanda Maharaj and lodge a complaint against you. And if Nanda Maharaj doesn't do anything about it, we shall tell King Kamsa about your misbehavior. So Krishna's like, you just said you're my eternal servitors, and you would do anything that I asked. So I'm not asking, I'm ordering you to come with your smiling faces, one by one after another, and listen. If you go and tell my father, I don't care, because my father is old and he cannot take any action against me. So they saw, wow, he's serious. Krishna's serious. He's not just joking around. So they said, we have to do it. And so they came, imagine they're saying, you go first, you go, no, you go, no, you go. We all have to go, so go ahead, someone has to go. So then they go, but they were so shy, and they're just covering themselves like this and shivering like that. And they're so young and innocent and all. And so here was Krishna's way of fulfilling their desire, one way, because a woman cannot be naked before any male except her husband. So he's fulfilling their desire in this way. And so he took their clothes, put them on his shoulder, and said, all right, now they're all covering themselves. And he said, you have committed a great offense by bathing naked in the water. And now Varuna Dev, he's displeased with you. So you have to put your folded your palms to your forehead and pay obeisances to Varuna. So that way they couldn't cover themselves. They had to put their hands up like this. And so they were, whatever he said, they said, we have to do what he says. And they didn't want to get the wrath of Varuna, although their real motive was just to please Krishna. And so he cheated them, you could say, just like we pray every day, my dear Lord Krishna, you may embrace me or trample me under your feet, right? You may make me brokenhearted. Whatever you want, you can do. So Krishna was very pleased with them, and then he told them, my dear well-behaved girls, I know of your desire for me and why you worship Goddess Katyayani, and I completely approve of your action. Anyone whose full consciousness is always absorbed in me, even if in lust, is elevated. As a fried seed cannot fructify, so any desire in connection with my loving service cannot produce any fruitive result, as in ordinary karma. So now he told them, so now in the next Kartik, next year, then I will fulfill your desire because you've worshipped Katyayani. I promise that you shall be able to meet with me. So that's when they got to meet in the rasa dance with Krishna. And then so then over a whole year later, it was finally the time for the rasa dance. Now, yesterday you all heard Leela Shakti Prabhu read all about them coming when Krishna played his flute. They all came running to meet him, and then he gave them a whole big lecture how this is not good. It's the dead of the night, and what are young girls doing out in the dead of night and alone, and there's animals, ferocious animals in the forest here, and you shouldn't. And besides, your husbands, your mother, your father, your babies, everyone, your brothers, they're going to be looking for you. So you should go home. You shouldn't be here. It's not proper. And plus, this is very unchaste for a married girl to be going out and to meet another man, even though he's really a child, And so he gave them this whole big speech, which Prabhupada is saying, this is proper instruction for every other women, but not for the gopis, who Krishna is their dearmost life and soul, and they prepared. But you may think, well, what about at home? They really must have been like we can just imagine even ordinary people like us, like doing that, going out at night, because we know that one man that we love is going to be there. Like we can just imagine what havoc it would create. But here they're doing this in a society that's so very, very strict, and still they don't care. They're running to Krishna, and so and after he tells them, you should just go home there, and then they're like, well, after his whole big speech, they just started crying. They're like, how can you say that? We gave up everything for you, and then you're telling us. They said, please don't discourage our long cherished desires to have you as our husband. So anyone who cares for his own self-interest reposes all his loving spirit in you. And so besides, he says, we are persons who are simply misled by the external energy, who want to be satisfied by false conceptions, try to enjoy themselves apart from you. The so-called husband, friend, son, daughter, or father and mother are all simply sources of material misery. No one is made happy in this material world by having a so-called father, mother, husband, son, daughter, and friend. They're supposed to protect us, but we don't read this at weddings, don't worry. Because Chitralek is getting married very, very, very soon, so we won't read stuff like this. They just read all how wonderful it's going to be. But the thing is, like they say, you may have a great doctor, but he can't save somebody if they're destined, destined to die, or the physician can't revive him, and so many means, like, even though the parents protect their children, still they succumb to different calamities. Okay, so now we're gonna skip ahead. So what happens is that now it's 1 year later, and these gopis are coming to meet Krishna because he plays his flute. But they were rather a minority of the gopis there, because the majority of the gopis were those rishis who were present at the time of Lord Ramachandra, when they observed Ramachandra's conjugal loving relationship, or heard about it. They wanted that. Oh, we would like to experience that. But they're male rishis at the time of Ramachandra, which is millions of years before. So this is always my perennial question: what did they do in all that millions of years? Because they're the same people, but now in this lifetime, those rishis actually got, because they were told, Ramachandra told them, I've taken Eka Patni Vrata, I only have one wife, and even if they were to become female, I'm only taking one wife in this lifetime. But in the future, you can appear, when I appear as Krishna, then you can be present then, and you can unite with me. So now, at this time, so the gopis, after Krishna was speaking to them now when they came, and he's there, like he's telling them all about, it's like separation, how I do this just to increase your desire for me. That's why I conceal myself from devotees. He's saying, because remember, what he does, well, later, he's going to actually leave them during the rasa dance, but besides that, okay, so now he's, and there's so much warning in Srila Prabhupada's writings, in his purports, how don't think this is mundane, that don't think it's what we conceive of as relationships between men and women, and here all these young girls and married women and everything. It's nothing like we can perceive of, like that great example about Red, who told us that, was it Amaranja? How the bull, when the bull, in the barn there's a fire, and the fire and the cows and the bulls, they escape, they run out of the barn far away, and they're saved. But then, whenever they see that color, that red and orange color, like if the cowherd man happens to be wearing a red t-shirt, they run, everything red reminds them of that fire, and they run away. So like us, everything, men and women, it reminds us of mundane sex life. But it's nothing like that. Just like the t-shirt is nothing like the fire, but the cow sees it in that way, or the bull. So anyway, it's a beautiful, beautiful scene. It's the full moon. I took a picture of the full moon last night because it's a very big, exceptionally big moon right now in this particular moon. And so now, when Krishna, they started to dance, and now the demigods come. You may have seen the old painting where the demigods are hovering above the rasa dance, and they're watching, and so they come together, and they all wanted to watch the demigods. The Gandharvas and Kinnaras began to sing, and their wives were with them, and they were showering flowers on all the dancers. So Krishna, this is what a rasa dance is. A rasa dance is when one dances in the midst of many girls. That's a rasa dance. So, so Krishna danced hand in hand with them, and we know he expanded so that each gopi felt that Krishna is just right next to me and dancing with me and holding my hand. And so when they danced together, a very blissful musical sound was produced from the tinkling of their bells, ornaments, and bangles. It appeared that Krishna was a greenish sapphire locket in the midst of a golden necklace decorated with valuable stones. While Krishna and the gopis danced, they displayed extraordinary bodily features, the movements of their legs, their placing their hands on one another, the movements of their eyebrows, their smiling, the movements of their breasts of the gopis and their clothes, their earrings, their hair with flowers. As they sang and danced, these combined together to appear like clouds, thunder, snow, and lightning. Krishna's bodily features appeared just like a group of clouds. Their songs were like thunder. The beauty of the gopis appeared to be just like lightning in the sky, and the drops of perspiration visible on their faces appeared like falling snow. In this way, both the gopis and Krishna fully engaged in dancing. So Krishna began to clap his hands in time with their singing. And actually, the whole world is full of Krishna's singing, but it is appreciated in different ways by different kinds of living entities. Yeyatamam prapajante. Krishna is dancing, and every living entity is also dancing. But there is a difference in the dancing in the spiritual world and in the material world. So Krishna is the master dancer, and everyone is his servant. You know, so again, you know, I kept thinking, wow, what are they doing at home? The gopis are gone for so long, because you know why? Krishna expanded that night into a night of Brahma, which is millions of years. So how could he do that? You know, like how time is relative. So back there in Gokula Vrindavan, that night was a regular night of 12 hours total, but it was millions of years they were dancing with Krishna. And you thought, wow, well, they must have really missed them, and they're going to really be in big, big trouble when they get home. But no, Krishna so arranged it. They were still home. Their bodies were lying in bed right next to their husband, and they had come in their spiritual bodies. So these were their spiritual bodies. So they were their bodies there are expansions of their spiritual body. So that's how come they could dance for many, many years. A night of Brahma, we know that it's, you know, many here, 4,300,000 multiplied by 1,000. That's just one night. So they danced a long time. So now, some of them started to feel a little bit fatigued. Like now they have contests, right, for the Guinness Book of World Records. Somebody can dance straight for maybe 20 hours, 24. You know, it's a big record in the world, but here. But now they became tired, and their hair loosened, their flowers fell out. They placed their hands on Krishna's shoulder, and they became overwhelmed by the fragrance of his body, which emanated from the lotus, and he had lotus flower garlands and the pulp of sandalwood. They became filled with attraction for Krishna, and they began to kiss one another. Some gopis touched Krishna cheek to cheek, And Krishna began to offer them chewed betel nuts from his mouth, which they exchanged with great pleasure by kissing. And by accepting those betel nuts, the gopis spiritually advanced. So the gopis, to further alleviate their fatigue, they took Krishna's hand and placed it on their raised breasts. Krishna's hand, as well as the breast of the gopis, are eternally auspicious. Therefore, when they combined, both of them became spiritually enhanced. The gopis so enjoyed the company of Krishna, the husband of the goddess of fortune, that they forgot that they had any other husband in the world. And upon being embraced by the arms of Krishna and dancing and singing with him, they forgot everything. So they were like lotus flower. They wore lotus flowers over both their ears, and their faces were decorated with sandalwood pulp. They wore tilak, and there were drops of sweat on their smiling mouths. From their feet came the tinkling sound of ankle bells as well as bangles. The flowers within their hair were falling to the lotus feet of Krishna, and he was very satisfied. So it says these actually are also expansions of Krishna, because you know why? Well, besides that, Krishna is in the heart of every living entity. So when he's embracing the gopis, there's nothing immoral because he's there as well. It's like a child in a mirror, or sometimes we see a dog or a cat. They'll see their reflection and they think it's a different dog or cat or a child, and they'll start playing with it and become rather enamored by it and all. And so now the moon, being afflicted with a sort of lust, began to watch the dance and became stunned with wonder. And so so now after a while, they were all singing the glories of Krishna, and then they entered the water of the Yamuna to relieve their fatigue from the rasa dance. And they had lily flower garlands around their necks, and they became strewn to pieces because they were embracing Krishna in the water. And the flowers were reddened from being smeared with the kumkum on their breast. The bumblebees were humming about in order to get honey from the flowers. Krishna and the gopis entered the water of the Yamuna just as an elephant enters a water tank with his many female companions. But the gopis and Krishna forgot their real identity, playing in the water, enjoying each other's company, and relieving the fatigue of rasa dancing. The gopis began to splash water on the body of Krishna, all the while smiling, and Krishna enjoyed this. As Krishna was taking pleasure in the joking words and splashing water, the demigods and the heavenly planets began to shower flowers. The demigods thus praised the super excellent rasa dance of Krishna, the supreme enjoyer, and his pastimes with the gopis in the water of Yamuna. So after this, they came out of the water and they began to stroll along the bank of the Yamuna, where a nice breeze was blowing, carrying the aroma of different kinds of flowers. And while they were strolling, Krishna recited various kinds of poetry, and he thus enjoyed their company. And so sex desire is especially excited in the autumn season. But the wonderful thing about Krishna's association with the gopis is that there was no question of sex desire. It was, as clearly stated in the Bhagavat description by Shukadeva Goswami, avaruta sarata, namely the sex impulse was completely controlled. There is a distinction between Lord Krishna's dancing with the gopis and the ordinary dancing of living entities within the material world. In order to clear up further misconceptions about the rasa dance and affairs of Krishna and the gopis, Maharaj Pariksit, the hearer of Srimad Bhagavatam, told Shukadeva Goswami, Krishna appeared on the earth to establish the regulative principles of religion and to curb the predominance of irreligion. But the behavior of Krishna and the gopis might encourage irreligious principles in the material world. I am simply surprised that he would act in such a way, enjoying the company of others' wives in the dead of night. So they're not the only ones who are surprised, right? Even in India, there's many people that won't worship Krishna because they say he's just an immoral debauchee, and I don't want his example for my children. And so, when we see in a mundane way, it's natural to think that way. But and so so Shukadeva Goswami, he as was just explained, this is like the answer anticipates the abominable acts of the Mayavadi impersonalists who place themselves in the position of Krishna and enjoy the company of young girls and women. So they think they are the enjoyers. So naturally, that a man like that in the bodily conception, he's thinking, why should Krishna be doing that? That's immoral, because that's really what they would want to do. And how can, they say there are millions of gopis there. How is it possible? But somehow it's always possible. There's always this very different expansion of time and how all of this can be accommodated. Like I always think, how many garlands can Krishna wear? Like when thousands of gopis are making garlands, for example, but Krishna can do anything. He can do, the impossible. He can accommodate contradictions and all. So in this statement, so Maharaj Pariksit asking this, he gave, so we know when the gopis first came, he gave them those instructions, how you should go home and all. So Krishna also was saying this is abominable according to the Vedas, but here it's uptakama, that another word used here is uptakarma. Some may take it that Krishna was very lusty for young girls, but he could not be lusty. And besides that, he was only 8 years old, and he didn't have that. So now, after a while, Krishna tells them all to go home. Go home now. Now it's the Brahma Muhurta has arrived. You have to go. And they obeyed and they went home. And then I guess went back into their bodies that were home or something. So all glories to Kachayani Vrata and also to Srimad Bhagavatam and Krishna book and that gopis. Jai. Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Adipurusham Namaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Namaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Namaham Bhajami Kanvandam Maravindanalayatatam Varhavatam Nandai Bhagavo Jitamaniya Vishesha Shobha Govindam Hari Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Hari Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Hari Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasa Sakalem Priya Priti Manti Vasyanti Panti Kayanti Jiram Naganti Ananda Maya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adi Purusham Amaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Amaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Namaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Namaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Namaham Bhajami Govindam
Vrindavan Shri Govinda Gopinatha Madan Amohan Govinda Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Page 38 Govindi Jamuna Jaya Jaya Mahava Jaya Ma Keshigata Vamsi Bhata Vadashakanan Gata Vamsi Bhata Vadashakanan Jahasavalila Koila Shinandananda Jahasavalila Koila Shinanda Jashoda Jaya Adi Jaya Jaya Januvatsagan Jaya Jaya Januvatsagan Jaya Vrishabhanu Jaya Kirti Dasundari Vrishabhanu Jaya Kirti Dasundari Jaya Purnamasi Jaya Virnagari Jaya Jaya Gopishwara Vrindavanama Jaya Jaya Gopishwara Vrindavanama Jaya Jaya Krishna Sakha Bhakti Dvijaraj Jaya Krishna Sakha Bhakti Dvijaraj Jaya Ramagata Jaya Rohini Nandan Jaya Ramagata Jaya Rohini Nandan Jaya Jaya Vrindavana Basi Jatajan Jaya Jaya Vrindavana Basi Jatajan Jaya Dvija Patni Jaya Naga Kanyagan Bhakti Tejahara Pailo Govinda Charan Bhakti Shri Rasa Mandala Jaya Jaya Radha Shyam Jaya Jaya Rasa Leela Sarva Manoram Jaya Jaya Jwala Rasa Sarva Rasa Sar Jaya Jwala Rasa Sarva Rasa Parakiya Bhaveja Prajate Prachar Shri Janavapada Padma Gauriya Smaran Jina Krishna Dasa Koe Nama Sankirtan Krishna Dasa Koe Nama Sankirtan Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan Shri Govinda Gopinatha Madana Mohan Shri Govinatha Madana Mohan Jaya Radha Golokananda Jaya Radhe Shyam Jaya Radhe Golokananda Jaya Radhe Shyam Jaya Radha Golokananda Jaya Golokananda Radhe Radha Golokananda Radha Golokananda Jaya Radha Golokananda Radha Golokananda Shri Radhe Radha Golokananda Radha Golokananda Shri Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe 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 Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Shri Vrindavan Dham Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Shri Vrindavan. All glories to Radha Kund and the divine forest of Vrindavan. All glories to the three presiding deities of Vrindavan, Sri Govinda, Gopinath, and Madana Mohan. All glories to Shama Kunda, Radha Kunda, Govardhan Hill, and the river Kalini. All glories to the great tourist, Muhammad Mahamud. All glories to Keshi Ghat, Vansivat tree, 12 forests of Raja. All these places, son of Nanda, Sri Krishna, performed all of his pastimes. All glories to Krishna's divine father and mother, Nanda and Yasoda. All glories to the cowherd boys, headed by Sridham. All glories to the cows and calves of Raja. All glories to Radha's divine father and mother, Rishabhanu and the beautiful Kirtida. All glories to Purnamasi, the mother of Sandipani Muni. All glories to the young cowherd maidens of Raja. All glories to Gopishwara Shiva, who resides in Vrindavan in order to protect the holy Dham. All glories to Krishna's funny Brahmin friend, Madhu Mangal. All glories to Ramagata, where Lord Balaram performed his rasa dance. All glories to Lord Balaram, the son of Rohini. All glories to the son of Vrindavan. All glories to the goddess of Vedic Brahmanas. All glories to the wives of the Kaliya serpent. Through pure devotion, they all obtained the lotus feet of Lord Govinda. All glories to the place where the rasa dance of Sri Krishna was performed. All glories to Radha and Shyam. All glories to the divine rasa dance, which is the most beautiful of all Lord Krishna's pastimes. All glories to the mellow of conjugal love, which is the most excellent of all rasas, and is propagated